The New York Giants have fired head coach Brian Daboll. We heard the news come down Monday from multiple sources. This is a move that many people thought maybe should have happened in the offseason. It didn't happen. Brian Daboll ends up with a 20-40-1 record over just a little over 3.5 seasons with the New York Giants. This is the 6th head coach they've had since 2016. But was this the right move? Doug, did Daboll deserve to be fired at this point in the season?
Well, I think the Maras wanted to give Daboll and Joe Schoen, the GM, like one more year. Let's give you your quarterback, which was Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart has now been evaluated for concussions 4 times this season. Daboll is using him recklessly. He's allowing him to do things he shouldn't be doing. They've blown, I believe, 4 double-digit leads on the road this season. And we'll get to Shane Bowen, their defensive coordinator, who they are retaining. Mike Kafka, the OC, is now the interim head coach. I never thought that Bowen was the right guy coming from Tennessee, the Titans, to replace Wink Martindale, because Wink was heavy man, heavy blitz, and Bowen, and they had set their whole defense up around that. Bowen comes in and does, his philosophy the exact opposite. And you have guys like Deonte Banks, who was the best press corner in his class, utterly frustrated. And yeah, I think, the Maras are not generally impatient, but, going through that many coaches, whether it's Ben McAdoo or Joe Judge, Steve Spagnuolo as their interim was probably the best coach they had, and they, punted on that one. With Daboll, I mean, they brought him in because he fixed Josh Allen. He turned Josh Allen as the Bills OC from the wild stallion he was at Wyoming into, what he became. They wanted him to do that with Daniel Jones. Didn't happen. Daniel Jones has now become a revelation, although last couple of games have been spotty. Dart comes in, and Dart's got a lot of talent. I am really impressed with his NFL tape. I was impressed with his college tape. But there's just a recklessness to this coaching. And I think when you have that many concussion evaluations and you're not protecting your quarterback from himself, that's a problem. So I think there are too many. By the way, the Giants have a .299 winning percentage since 2017, the year after Tom Coughlin. That's the worst in the NFL. So it's not as if the Giants don't change their overall philosophy regarding leadership, this isn't going to get any better. It's not like they're going to luck into the right guy, because they haven't lucked into the right guy. They've worked their way to the wrong guys. So we can talk about replacements and all that, but I think the Giants need to really get together with a scheme, just an overall sea change in philosophy that they have not had in the last decade, and they've really paid for it hard.
Yeah, I mean, this is a move, to me, it goes back to what I've always said. What must be done eventually must be done immediately. And so I felt this way with Matt Eberflus in Chicago a couple of years ago, where you're holding on to a coach past his expiration date with your club because you have a young quarterback. Get the right guy in along with the young quarterback to make him work. Allow him to pick his guy instead of allowing the guy who's just hanging on after 2 losing seasons or 3 losing seasons to pick that guy, and then you're going to have to fire him a half a year later anyway. I think a lot of people could see this move coming, and it speaks to an organizational problem. The problem the Giants have is so much bigger than one head coach. It's so much bigger than Brian Daboll. That organization has so many other decisions to make, which, again, the fact that they're, at least right now, retaining Joe Schoen and that part of the leadership structure isn't changing. I'm interested to see how else that impacts what they do. But as we do look ahead, Doug, are there a couple of replacements on the horizon that jump out to you that would be either good fits for the personnel that's already in-house there, or would signal a change philosophically that we need to see from them that says, hey, we're going to change the way we do things. We're going to look for a different type of head coach, because obviously the way we've been doing things for the last decade isn't working.
One guy that comes to mind is Kliff Kingsbury, who's now the Commanders OC, was in Arizona. He's been pretty varied with his personnel packages. I think he understands how to get the best out of quarterbacks. I don't know what his mindset regarding a defensive coordinator would be. I think the Giants need to move on from Bowen. Maybe it's just hard to get a new DC in season. I don't know. But, they've got some other work to do. Kingsbury has been tremendously adaptable this season with Jaden Daniels going out. Marcus Mariota comes in. All of a sudden, it's a bunch of 6-OL stuff that they have never done. Kingsbury's never done in his career before, and it works really well. And I think with Dart, you just have to have a coach who understands, because my comp for Dart was Jalen Hurts. Dart said at the combine his favorite quarterback is Jalen Hurts. We don't need to connect the dots here as far as what kind of quarterback he's going to be. Well, the Eagles have always been, as much as they do the tush push and other quarterback runs, the Eagles have been very good about protecting Hurts from himself. He has had injuries, but the epidemic of concussions with Dart, I mean, this could wind up threatening his career. He could be a 2 or 3 year guy and then out, because that's how it happens. And if he's been evaluated 4 times for a concussion in an NFL that has never taken concussion seriously, you really wonder how bad it actually is. So I think whoever it is, Kingsbury comes to mind immediately. Maybe if Mike McDaniel does not hold on to the head coaching job with the Dolphins, maybe he comes in as an OC candidate under a defensive-minded head coach. I don't know. But that would be, Clint Kubiak of the Seahawks is going to get a job somewhere, goodness knows, and he'll be able to pick a spot where that offense is humming. So there are guys out there, but I think, as we have both said with the Giants, it's the overall organizational philosophy that needs a redo before you get the head coach, or it's going to be the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Do you think the Giants made the right call to fire Brian Daboll at this point in the season? Who do you think should replace him at the end of the season? Let us know in the comments below.